Welcome to the Blind Apex Podcast, where amateur club racers tune in to get faster.
I'm Con John Turk, and this is the Blind Apex Podcast. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the future of swaps, probably Honda swaps, really, let's be honest, and the cars to really look for, what you really need to be looking out for in the future. Joining me is the host of the RaceFF podcast, the only man I know racing a single jingle and proudly wearing that badge.
You know it.
And the king of D-Series transmissions, Jaime Garcia. How are you doing, brother?
Thanks for having me on, Con. I'm doing all right. Just finished a little bit of my saga into putting the 4.9 final drive in LSD. Those who do listen to my podcast would be very well caught up with that. Just finished doing the break-in. So I'm really excited to do a test on the 25th of this month. So looking forward to that.
Nice. So for people who don't know, Jaime had to buy 3-ish Facebook Marketplace D-Series transmissions.
Yeah.
Buy a bunch of parts off sketchy websites and hope his credit card didn't get stolen.
Yeah.
And then have his competitors help him.
Yeah.
Right? Carlos helped
Mm-hmm.
and get this transmission together because he's been racing a D-Series car in H4 in California because that's the only place H4 is still alive.
Yeah. I mean... go ahead.
Yeah, you're like the dying breed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, normally I have a guest expert, but I think you are the guest expert for this because you're really holding on to that D series, but really you're lusting after the K series, the J series, the L series, a new car even. You've looked at all of this stuff 100,000 times probably. If you put in K in your Google search engine, I bet it says K series something immediately.
Yeah, and I mean,
it doesn't say what it won't say anything else. It's going to be K series something, right?
I mean, look, I much like you already know, I also own a Ace Gen Civic Si, and there's a lot of history with that when doing some time trials. And that was really before I went into the EG and going D series. And I mean, I've been following Honda Challenge, specifically H4 for many years. I think the first time that I've seen a Honda Challenge was back in 2009. And ever since then, I've wanted to race. And H4 has always been a series that was very popular here in SoCal. And for a good while, it disappeared, but then it came back when everyone wanted to go and be more cost effective, go down, and then little by little parts are drying up, and it's difficult. The reason that I'm holding on to the D series, and you very well know this, is that I'm not going to pay $3,000 to do a B18 swap. Like, that's just not going to happen. And
yeah, but you're close. You're already close, Jaime.
I mean,
you've been fortunate to find budget-friendly Facebook Market Space D-Series stuff. But what I see, there was somebody, I'll call him out, actually. I hope he listens to the show because he tried to race with us. His name's Ryan Short. He was trying to sell like a D16 Y6 complete swap for $1,000.
Oh yeah, that's actually
spend $1,000.
That's fair market price for that, because you look at
we threw them in the recycling bin.
No, I was there. I've seen people do this. Like, don't worry. Like, I completely agree with you. But as a capitalist, the market is what the market demands. So, when you look at HMO selling D series swaps, that's kind of what they're going for, 1,000, 1,500. And yeah, it's not what I was looking for in terms of budget engines. But, I've been very lucky in that I'm in SoCal, and there's still a lot of these drag racers that bought multiple, or probably not bought, but received multiple D series.
Right.
And dude, like D16C6, the 92 to 95 Civic Si or Civic EX engine turboed, most of those guys are getting somewhere like 260, 270 wheel horsepower turboed. So there's a lot of kids that like rock the D series that are turbo and are still doing that. They're still huge in Puerto Rico. And
yeah. I understand the Puerto Rico thing, but how are you California kids with the carb legal stuff playing with D series turbo kits? Come on.
Same. Look, it's only illegal if you get caught. Until then, it's just sketch.
So what you're saying is there's a bunch of kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how often do you guys have to carb, every year, every
2 years,
something like that.
We have to show smog inspection. And to be fair, my car, even when it first debuted in Honda Challenge, passed California carb legally with a carb legal cat on there, and I got that one from Rock Auto for $250 shipped. So yeah.
Yeah, but carb legal Honda Challenge cars don't win.
No, they didn't. Especially when they're on the OEM final drive and OEM diff. But we're changing that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the 4.9 with the 45 series sidewall. Again, shout out to Chris Michaels, 2021 Honda Challenge national champ.
Yeah,
for that bit of information. So yeah,
and if it revs too fast, if you run out of gear, you can go to the 205/50.
Yeah, but I mean,
is there a 225/50?
Yeah, there's a 225/50. But again, we lost Auto Club. As you well know, we talked about it. I hope this isn't news for anybody, but Auto Club Speedway was our fast track, and I think that one in my 8th gen, my top speed that I was able to hit was 130. So with the 4.9 and the 225/45 wheels, I feel like I'd be topping out at about 135. I'd have to check the M Factory calculator or whatnot. But
in a D series,
yeah.
You think you're actually going to hit the 135?
No, I mean that's the only place where I could imagine hitting that 135.
Then you need a custom 5.1.
I mean, no one makes it. The most recent.
I said custom.
I know, but we're the man.
Show that Johnny Manziel money. Come on.
So, I mean, you've alluded to it in the fact that you mentioned Facebook Marketplace for my engine part, but I don't limit it to the Facebook Marketplace for engines. I mean, my suspension is from there. Helper springs are from there. So much of my of the car is from there. Spare wheels are from there. I mean, I got the Koenig dial-ins from Facebook Marketplace for like $350. Yeah.
You fly to Philly or New Jersey and hang out with Dylan?
Dude, hanging out with Dylan or Jackie and just like shooting the shit would be like probably one of the most amazing podcasts I could ever do. And then drive down and have Baker, Chris Michaels, and you together, and we would probably get banned from a lot of things.
We'd be all right. We'll just put the explicit thing on there. It's fine.
Yeah.
So you're a D Series H4 racer.
Mm-hmm.
How many guys are you racing with this year?
So we just had one of our racers' son get through comm school, so he'll be joining us in there. So in H4 we have Marcel de Carpel. What is it? Joe Landry. We have what is it? Patrice's son, and then we have I think another two that I'm forgetting. We have Keith.
Is Carlos gonna do it?
Carlos is since jumped into Spec Boxster, so they still have the H4 car, but they will be running in Spec Boxster. And in all honesty, they have like 30, 40 car fields. So if you're trying to race with more people,
I know he listens, but still boo.
I mean, it is what it is.
But you guys are going to be in like a 5 or 6 car field, right?
More or less, it seems like. Oh, and then there's Greg Carr. I keep forgetting. So that's 6 or 7. Yeah, around there.
Okay, so in a 6 or 7 car field, that's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exciting. It can be.
Yeah.
For you, I'm happy for you because you went from an open diff stock final drive trans to now a final drive with a diff.
Yeah.
Your fiance, God bless her soul, did you point her in TT when you did this? Did you not worry about her? Because I know she drives TT.
Yeah.
In that car. So I'm just telling you, like that's you make sure she has points for that.
I mean, I guess there's no points for TT6 for that. I mean, I guess. But
oh no, okay, well,
not for aftermarket.
I don't pay attention. TT is for qualifying. It's not real racing.
Yeah, I remember hearing you and Baker talking about that, and I don't know. I think it's like a cultural thing because here in SoCal, Time Attack is so big, and I guess that's really with the Red Line Time Attack series that started off. That was really what brought a lot of people in from drag racing to to the racetrack, because I mean, wheel to wheel is still like such a small group of people. As we know with Hondas, it's really the biggest group is drag racers, and then from drag racers we get the spares of the people that are in there. And yeah.
I'm still trying to round up. I need to find myself an autocrosser, so I'm going to get an autocrosser. I'm going to get myself a time trialer and a wheel-to-wheel racer, not me. I'm going to moderate biasly, but I'm going to moderate. And because everyone thinks what they do is the pinnacle of motorsports. When you talk to the autocrossers, literally, I bought my car from an autocrosser. It was a nationally prepped autocross car. And I'm complaining on Facebook Marketplace, or not Facebook Marketplace, on the Facebook, like 8th, 9th gen race group, that my car won't turn. And he's like, you don't know how to drive. You just got to wing it. For 45 minutes? You wing it for 45 seconds. Yeah, the car's great. When I go out on my warm-up lap, it rotates awesome. But when 5 minutes into the race, she stops rotating.
Yeah.
45 minutes into the race, it doesn't rotate. Like, I know what they're trying to say. I get it. But 45 seconds on a really crappy surface doesn't equate to anything. Now.
Yeah, I mean, but to be honest, they prepped the surface right after the tent sale at the Home Depot at that parking lot. Nothing but love with the autocrossers.
You can learn a lot by autocrossing. I don't give any smack to autocrossing.
No.
And time trial is the same thing to me. So time trialers, there's a certain skill set that I think road racers overlook that time trialers don't overlook or can't overlook. More of it's off track than on track, because I think time trialing and qualifying in wheel to wheel are basically the same thing. But there's racers that overlook the on track part and don't know the off track part, where if you stay in TT long enough, you will learn certain things like tuning your shocks and tuning your alignment and doing certain things, right? So everybody has their place, but it's not the pinnacle of motorsports. So
We all
I want to
know,
get everybody together, cause a ruckus.
yeah, we all know that the pinnacle of motorsports is dirt track oval racing. So, I mean, as long as we're in agreement there, we're good.
As long as it's Honda Challenge cars doing it, that's fine.
No, I mean,
see, we can create an argument out of nowhere. It's amazing.
Of course,
race car drivers can do the weirdest stuff. It's great. It's gonna make podcasting great. Well, your podcast at RaceFF and my podcast for the Blind Apex, like we can just make up all sorts of stuff because you just pull the right personalities and people will just bend. So
yeah, and I mean it's also like the kind of embarrassment of riches that we have in our specific field of road racing, in that you can have a big ego about yourself and you can be a person who thinks that they're the most amazing person out there. But if you're in road racing long enough, you'll realize that there are certain variables that you can and can't control. And basically, you're going to get humbled at one point or another. I mean, you look at Baker as a prime example of that. How long did Baker go before getting his national championship? And that meant so much to him because he had failed to get it previously. So, I mean, it's not because Baker's car was bad or he was a bad driver or whatever. It's just, a lot of variables that came up that, he wasn't able to overcome at that race. And he ended up not getting the results that he wanted. And then eventually he was consistent enough and did this one, and it worked out.
So my argument to that is Baker needed to have that experience.
Oh yeah.
To refine his to refine his race program. And then that experience propelled him to drive all the way across the country to overcome obstacles in his journey, in his race, where he had no one that the rest of us would have, right? The rest of us, if it was an East Coast like this year in Pitt, like he could reach out to somebody easily. He didn't have that. He had to go. He understood he had to go with a certain level of preparedness. Iga was fortunate because he had to get a trailing arm from somebody out in SoCal. Yeah,
from the double nickel.
But he had that experience came into play, right? I didn't have him on the race program podcast because I felt that his race program, when we talked about how did you evolve your program, it would have taken another 3 hours because he had a very rigid program, but he's learned a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
But I had somebody like Christopher Michaels on who learned his program from Baker and then only made minor modifications to get a national championship, right? But you're blessed with Carlos and all of them over there on the West Coast. There's a history of Honda Challenge out there. I'm blessed with the experience of in the big fields of the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. Like we get a lot of information. We just ask a question and it's answered. Somebody will answer it for us. And that's a big deal.
Yeah. And I mean, also to kind of piggyback on that point, I do have a lot of help from like Carlos and whatnot, but realistically and being just transparent, Jackie helped a lot with kind of the setup of the car that I have now. It went from me doing a full 360 on my first race, not knowing how bad having cold tires and not enough sway bar was to keep the rear end controllable, to now where, like at Big Willow, the car will progressively rotate through the corners and it's a lot easier to catch. And even with testing with Carlos, he mentioned how easy and progressive the car rotates, even compared to his CRX. I think one of his takeaways was that he felt, at least in some, like a corner or two, that the EG that I have rotated a little bit easier than the CRX that he has, which is saying a lot considering how shorter the wheelbase is on the CRXs and how snappy those guys are. So a lot of credit has to go to Jackie and of course Dylan and and Christopher Michaels for telling me about the whole opening my eyes up to the shorter tire and how helpful that was. So yeah, I got SoCal people helping, but it's also, I've been very lucky to get a lot of help from everybody.
Yeah. So for people listening, if you're in any community out there, just keep looking for the next person in your community. Mm-hmm. Jaime's out in Cali and he reaches out to the East Coast. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, he's going to ask me a question when I'm asleep, right? Because he stays up late and I go to bed early. Mm-hmm. But there's also the time difference. But we're going to answer these questions, mm-hmm. right? Like, that's just who we are.
Yeah.
And for folks, I think you're going to find it's still another week away. We're recording on March 12th, this podcast. It's not going to get released till April. Mm-hmm. On March 19th, Jackie's basic front wheel drive suspension setup mm-hmm. podcast is coming out for me. And it's, I didn't want her to go through specifics. Like, mm-hmm. well, we got into ratios, we got into sway bars, things like that. Right. Mm-hmm. But I call it Jackie spec, right? Because on my EM1, that's what I was running, mm-hmm. whatever she told me to run.
Yeah.
So, and her and Darren, a good friend of mine who also raced Honda Challenge, hopefully comes back. One of my trusted guys that works on my car, mm-hmm. you know, he's like, hey, bump down your rear spring rate so your bar gets to work. You know, mm-hmm. I did that and it started working and I was like, oh, okay, there's something to this. The math says X, but if you make some changes, things work out. I think we're very blessed with that community. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure the time trial community, and I know the autocross community does not share.
Yeah,
I think we don't share. They are cutthroat.
Yeah, because the deltas between them is so small.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Look at an autocross course. A long one's a minute long, right?
Yeah.
That's a really long one. Mm-hmm. You know, national level long course, and everybody's within a second, maybe two.
Yeah.
When you're talking that level.
Yeah.
In time trials, they're not telling you squat because they don't win if your lap time's better.
Yeah.
Whereas in wheel to wheel, I mean, I could tell you what I'm doing. I could tell you where you're going wrong, where mm-hmm. you're going a little sideways, but you still have to execute and I still have to execute. And as long as I'm in front of you, and I won't, this is the good thing about road racing. I can tell you the 90% solution mm-hmm. and still use that 10% to my advantage. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to come off the track and you're going to be like, dude, what the hell? I did it this way, like you said. And I'm like, yeah, but I had to leave something, you know? And then the next time you go on track, you're going to be like, what was that something that little jerk did, right? Like you're going to look for it. And that's important.
Yeah. And I mean, like the good and kind of bad thing about our series in terms of like rules and balancing and doing BOP is that, you know, we have so many different chassis out there. And so many different ways of trying to beat a DC2 Integra Type R that don't normally work. But, you know, what may work for one person in terms of setup may not work for another person in terms of setup. I know Marcel has told me multiple times that he's let people drive his car and people have said, oh, like I can't drive it. It's too snappy or like something's like kind of odd with it. And he can go out there and just go, you know, the 40 minutes and be fine. But you know, what it does boil down to is not only can you do one lap, but what can you do consistently? And if you're not consistent, you're gonna get burned out fast and you're gonna be overtaken.
Yeah. That becomes a problem when the car has to be set up for the driver.
Yeah.
So sure, I can tell you my alignment. I can tell you my spring rates, my shock settings, everything. And if your car was exactly like mine, it doesn't mean that your hands move at the same rate, that your feet and your reaction times are moving the right way to make this work. But it can get you pretty close to where you can tweak it, right?
Yeah.
And you brought up the DC2 Type R.
Yeah,
that is
standard.
In our world, that's the cookie cutter. That's the standard that everybody's trying to meet. So we all know that the B18C JDMs and the B18C5 USDM motors are getting expensive, right?
And getting fewer in number.
I'll try to rein. Oh, absolutely. And we're not helping because road racers blow stuff up too.
Yeah.
Right. So let's get into the motors that we need to look at towards the future.
Well, I mean,
so let's talk.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
We've been kind of talking about this, and I remember reading a post by Baker also, I think on Facebook in terms of like rules requests to make the K24 A4, the Accord engine, a little bit more competitive, so that more people will want to use that one and bring the cost of road racing a little bit down in terms of getting those spares instead of running the Type Rs and GSRs. We know that these are going to get harder and harder to find, and we're going to have to go, pretty much everyone's going to have to go K-Series, and once the rules give an advantage to the point where it just makes competitive and money-wise, or like economic sense to go K-Series, there's probably no one going to be running a B or D or whatever series anymore. And kind of the thing that I'm sure you and I want to touch on is the idea of, if you are going out there right now and you're like, well, I want to get into Honda Challenge, or I want to get into road racing, what is it that I should be looking for? What is it that I can get into? Because most people that are starting out, they're not going to be able to buy an ITR because no one sells that much amount of cocaine, and it's just not healthy.
Yeah. So okay, let's talk about the K series a little bit, because you brought that up as what people need to look at next. And here's my problem with it. As somebody who recently went to a K series car, mine's not a swapped car. I'm a K native. I run a 2007 Civic Si. The problem I find, okay, as I'm looking for parts and I'm looking, my chassis parts, easy. K20Z3 engines, 6-speed transmissions, they're becoming very rare already.
Yeah.
And it's because the drag racers and some road racers, they've already been swapped for 15 years. Right? So they've blown up many transmissions and engines. And they don't want your block. I could probably find a block, no problem. It's the heads, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that becomes a problem, because I'm looking at the rule book, and my rule book, our rule book, says I can only run this one type of engine, right? And so I'm thinking, okay, if my K20Z3 setup that I have right now, grenades, what do I do? Because my buddy Ryan Bradfield, he retired his Integra Type R race car. He retired it, and he's building this crazy TSX with a J series, and we'll get into those. But I'm going, what do I need to do? Because his car's a H1 car, my car's a H2 car. But is it cheaper for me to just go, Do I L swap my car? Do I turbo my car? Sell off my really expensive transmission?
Because it will sell.
Swap in the L series.
Realistically, you post that up, and you're not going to be, on Facebook Marketplace with like this post has been up for over 2 months at a price that's anything reasonable. Let's be honest.
Right.
So,
and so people understand, we're not talking about the K20 C1 C2s. That's the new Type R engines, turbocharged 2 liters. We're not talking about those. We're talking about the naturally aspirated K series.
The ones that came in the 06 to 11 Civic SIs. Obviously, when they changed,
but even earlier, the 02,
04,
whatever, the K20
EP3s and whatnot.
Yeah, all of those, the naturally aspirated K series motors. Those are the ones we're talking about, and there's a great disparity in all of those motors. And to be honest, the K series is the LS of the 4-cylinder world.
Yeah,
not even the 4-cylinder world. AE86s are getting them. Miatas are getting them. S2000s are getting them.
Lotus.
The motors are drying up because Lotus, Exige, all these cars are putting in a K series, and the motors, while plentiful, will dry up quickly.
Essentially.
Because it's literally the 4-cylinder LS. And I think that's a problem, because when you look at the car market in general, we're looking at a car market that has less and less manual transmission cars. And we have more and more maybe shifty paddle setups, or not even that. The chassis themselves are dying.
That's true.
We were talking earlier, there's what, 3 if this is 2023, if you went to a Honda Acura dealer in 2023, there's what, 3 cars with a manual transmission?
Yeah, the Integra, the Civic Si, I think the Civic EX
and the
Sport,
R.
And then of course the Type R.
You think the EX Sport has one?
I think so.
Okay, so maybe 4. Maybe 4. And we're going to get into this EX Sport game. Okay? We're going to talk about that. But you daily drive an 8th gen Civic. Now, if today, 2023, if I had my way, if I had a crystal ball 5 years ago, I would have bought a Mugen SI, and I would have put it in a bubble, because a stock Mugen SI is going to be the new Type R S2000 CR. I promise.
I believe it.
I saw someone on the internet cutting their cutting their Mugen fenders for fender vents, and I was like, bro, just pull those off, store them in the attic, and wrap your new, buy the junk fender, right? Buy the press fender off Amazon.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, you can still get the 8th gen Civics sold really well, and between the SI and I don't know if the Mugen had a wide body on it or whatnot, but
it didn't.
It's the same fender. Like, you can just slap in whatever on there, and there's so many of them out there. You could even probably find one that's color matched. Although I don't know for the Mugen.
Maybe.
Mugen one.
Maybe not. I mean, there was a blue. I think it was a special blue for the Mugen, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But go to Amazon and throw some carbon fiber vinyl wrap on whatever color you got out of the junkyard. Cut that joint up and throw your vents in there and pose. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I saw it and I was like, oh, this is,
because they have the VIN number on there.
Yeah, they do. It's the car in the Honda world. It's like the one car, maybe the new A spec, the Integra A spec.
Yeah, that may be interesting.
But in the past, something that's attainable, something you would find for a deal, I'd be like, oh, that is the one I want. Because to be honest, daily driver, I want a 4-door 8th gen Civic so bad. I want to be a track taxi. I want to put MCS suspension on that joint. no bolt-ons, none. I stock power, stock everything, and just suspension and tires and rip and sway bar. Yeah.
Like, it sounds like I'll be selling my Ace Gen to you eventually.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it.
I mean,
let's talk about it after the show.
Yeah, we could talk about it after the show. I mean, it's currently getting painted, so we'll see.
Oh, did you get your bodywork fixed?
Yeah. So for not to like derail, but I know that you wanted me to give like a little bit of a leeway of who I am and what I started in terms of the podcast. But so like me in terms of RaceFF, the whole idea of starting it up was really I saw kind of I guess it's the capitalist in me. I saw a hole in the market, if you will, in that nobody was talking about the series that I really liked. And to be honest, I knew very little about the series outside of SoCal. I knew that there were some people in Mid-Ohio, East Coast, because of Jackie. Mid-Atlantic, I didn't know as much about. Southeast, I had no idea about. Texas, nothing. So I wanted to kind of promote it now that I was going into Honda Challenge. And, you know, at the time, me and Carlos were talking about it, and we're like, dude, what are we going to do to promote this series and keep it growing? And he said, well, I'll start doing more videos. And he did an awesome job on that, doing driver videos. I still go back to them. And I just wanted to share the people that I've met all around this great land of ours that race in Honda Challenge. And that way, when somebody wants to go out there, they can hear the episode and be like, oh, that's Khan. He drives an Ace Gen. He will know a little bit of what I'm going through with my Ace Gen, or that's Baker. He's really, really good to get information about like parts and settings and whatnot. So that's kind of like the idea, and I kind of liked doing my podcast more like the conversation after the track, like sitting down and talking with people. I mean, I still, in my personal opinion, the podcast I did with Carlos, Carla, and Baker after what was it, the race quali. It's still one of my favorite ones because we have the whole like campground vibe, and I'm still like a sucker for horror stories. So like that like vibe, it just felt really nice. Right. Like kind of right before the big event of the race. And you know, when we look at kind of this whole idea of this podcast and your podcast is to try and help people out. When we look at what is available now, like let's say there's another Khan out there, there's another Jaime out there who's in college, is ready to spend like $5,000 on a cheap beater, and their goal in life is to either make enough money to race in Honda Challenge or make enough time to be able to waste in Facebook marketplaces and you know, build a car out for Honda Challenge. And I think for them, we really should point out what we think the future should hold. And I think right now, if you think about it, a like EX coupe, like a Ace Gen coupe, that's pretty light for a New York car, pretty stout. They handle pretty well. They still don't have a lot of electronic stuff going on with them to fight against. I think
they're also H4 cars.
They're also H4 cars. However,
nobody's built one yet.
Yeah, but if you look at the rules, the minimum weight with driver is 2450. And if I'm in my EG at 2,300 pounds, I don't know how you're going to put a cage in an Ace Gen Civic and get it down to 2,400 pounds. That's wild.
Jaime, do they have EX coupes?
I think so. maybe.
I should have looked this up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I believe you can get a coupe EX down to weight. I believe it's possible.
I mean, I talked to the only person that I know of is, of course, Victor Adamson, I believe is the last name. Apologies. I've had him on my podcast, so I should know better. But I remember I talked to him.
I buy parts from him, so it's fine.
So I think he mentioned that the LX and EX are a lot lighter than the SIs, because the SIs, as you well know, they weigh about 2,700 pounds. Once you start taking around some weight out of them, you can probably negate the cage, but in and of itself, I think it would be very difficult. Because I think now that you're mentioning about Auto Xers, what was it? Standard suspension. Chris Sheffield.
Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he said he got his down to about 25.
Yeah, it's completely possible.
It's hard, but he doesn't have a cage.
But you could put a cage in. You can put because here's the trick, and a lot of people don't understand this. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs to go to their rule book when you're like, I'm going to cage my car and go racing. Okay. Mm-hmm. What you need to do is go to your class rule book, and my car says 2725 because I have aftermarket 2700 without aftermarket remote reservoir shocks. Mm-hmm. So I had 25 pounds for that. And then you go to your overall rules guidance, whether it's SCCA, Grid Life, NASA CCR, whatever. You go to that and you go, what does the rule say for the weight? My car is right on the borderline, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm right there where if I'm running, say, 150 pounds extra because it's a new build car, technically I should have this dome tubing.
Yeah.
Why would you not add a little dome tubing to make sure? Because if I bump up, excuse me, if I bump up for H2 or if I bump up because of a weight thing, turbo stuff for H1, whatever class you're in, and then you look forward, what are you going to do in the future? If I'm going to bump up and there's nothing wrong with a little safety, let's bump up the dome tubing size, right? So I did that, and my car was she's a little hefty, so am I. It's no big deal. And I'm working on myself and I'm working on the car. It's the point of the podcast. But everybody needs to look at that, because yes, you can get that EX down to 2,500 pounds, but when you're done with it, what are you really at? Right? Because it's what you're really at. Now, my cage, which is semi-intricate and slightly overbuilt, not way overbuilt. I don't have A-pillar diagonals and things, which I could have done. I thought about doing, but I didn't need it. I'm husky. I need a little extra space exiting the car. But you can get a bare minimum, say 6-point chassis, like a 6-point cage, done. It's not going to cost you 200 pounds. So you'll be back at 2,700.
Yeah.
And if you go carbon, if you do all this other stuff, now I'm sure Chris at Redshift, standard now, or Redshift in his standard motorsports shocks. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I'm sure he doesn't have a dash. I'm sure he has lots of things that are missing, right?
Yeah.
I'm at 2,775. I put a heater core back in my car. Now it's not factory. I have an overbuilt cage. Like, you can get light. You can get these cars light. That's possible.
Yeah.
But everybody needs to look at those parameters.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest parameter, is that you're going to be adding weight, and there's no ifs, ands, or but about it in terms of the dome for the dome thickness that you need to run for the car's weight. So that's going to be a hard one to do. But in terms of future Honda Challenge cars, I feel like the 8th gen handling wise is obviously superior to the RSXs and EP3s just
Is
starting
it?
out. Yeah,
No.
I mean, in terms of like handling bump steer,
You were at Laguna. You were at
yeah,
Laguna.
I was. 8th
They
gen Civics
they
versus RSXs. I would lean more with an 8th gen.
Scott Adams. So you're saying Scott Adams would have preferred an 8th gen over his RSX?
Absolutely. That was actually something he told me after the fact. He was telling
Why didn't
me
he buy one, Jaime?
no. When he was when we were talking, I think it was like during right after race quali. Um, I was giving him the mad props that he deserves for one, building a car, two, building a car that no one really wanted to see as a competitive vehicle. But he said if he had the chance to do it all over again, he would have gone 8th gen, and something that Dane Bird also echoed as well. So both of them say that the 8th gen has, just from like the stock to stock handling wise, the 8th gen's just a more a better setup vehicle in terms of the suspension and the fact that the tie rod ends aren't connected to the strut like the EP3 and RSXs are. So yeah, I mean,
I think that's a big deal, but
and the rear end is really weird on it. I owned one. They're kind of like twitchy rear wise. I'm not sure if it's because they have very little travel in the rear. Maybe they don't have a good negative camber gain under load or what have you. I don't know what it is, but they just driving one stock and with coilovers versus an 8th gen stock with coilovers is just way different. The confidence level is just a lot better on the 8th gen Civics. I think it's superior, and if I was starting out, I'd probably get one of those stick shift. It's a 1.8 liter. From what Victor was telling me, you could make actually respectable power out of them, and you still have reflashes available for that one, so it takes care of the tuning aspect. And in the future, as well as you and I both know, I think the L15 turbos are going to be where it's at. And
absolutely.
if I was somebody getting started into this game, I would one get a L15 turbo swap, because they're a dime a dozen right now. You could still get them for stupid cheap. And as you and I both know, we want to get those transmissions because those drag racers are going to blow those things up.
So, okay, so my in is with Auto Fair Honda out of New Hampshire. They support my race program. They're no longer on Auto Fair Honda, kparts.com. That doesn't exist anymore. Their dealership got sold, but I still have an in up there in the parts department. And short block, the bottom end for the L series, the L15, B7, 8, and 9, you can buy them for $400.
I mean,
short block, $400.
I mean, dude, that is
like
wild.
Really?
That is wild.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
now,
how much is a crank for a K series?
Well, I would never buy one.
Yeah, it's so expensive.
The engine is toast at that point.
Exactly. So, I mean, for my Subaru friends out there, I think last time I checked was Subaru crank was one of the cheapest ones that I've seen that you could buy from the dealership, which was like $350, maybe $400 now. So you're talking about a whole block. That's a turbo block that is known to easily make 240 foot-pounds of torque all day, and just have that ready to go for whenever you do that swap. And it is going to happen. I mean, Brian from Hasport is going to be, if he doesn't have a kit already there, it's going to be there soon.
Well, so. I mean, so you have I don't know their names. I know their screen names on Instagram. The soul of my Civic, she has a running EK L15 turbo car.
Yeah.
She drives it, she tracks it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The GLTC _ EJ2.
Oh yeah.
He's wrapping his up, right?
Yeah.
Hossport has mounts.
Mm-hmm.
And these engines are in CRVs, they're in Accords, they're in the 10th gen Civic, right? So you're talking about 3 major platforms for Honda. They're there.
They're
everywhere.
in the EX ones as well, because I remember Jackie Thing was driving an EX hatchback in Grid Life Track Rat, so the TR class. And dude, it made like 260 wheel, like foot-pounds of torque, and it's just like, what? That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and people need to understand these engines from the factory are running 16 to 20 psi.
That's wild.
They're already 1 bar. They're running 1 bar from the factory.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already engineered for what we do, as long as you can cool them. And I think that's a big deal. They're inline 4s, so they sort of fit. And what I see is the only downfall, and in my research on the L series, is the transmissions. While plentiful right now, they're plentiful because nobody makes anything for them. Go find a final drive. Go find a real diff. Go find an OSG for it. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg, so nobody has them. But they will come because it's the next thing.
Exactly.
I believe
exactly.
We're going from the K series to the L series. I think we're going to skip the J series because the J series is too big for most platforms.
Yeah.
You can sort of stuff them into golden eras. They do not fit. They don't fit in 8th, 9th, and 10th gens. The engine bays are too cramped for those cars to have a V6 in there. You know, they're a 60-degree V6, but it's still too big. The slope of the nose of those cars. So the L series is where we're going in the future. We're going to skip. And I think H1, any of the big block groups, the K20, C1, and C2, the big block turbos, the 2-liter turbos, and the J series are going to be in one classification, no matter what group you run with. They're going to be separate. You're talking 300-400 horsepower engines.
Yeah.
And then you're going to look at the L series, which I'm afraid, because the L series, the amount of torque that they put down, they're still going to be 3,000-pound cars.
Yeah.
But
because I mean, right now, what is an L15 powered vehicle in H2? It's just a Civic Si, right? The one that it came in.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Because I think
I have to look that up.
Because I think if you were to swap one in, like let's play like really crazy Frankenstein right now. If we had a, like GLTC EJ2 build, that one would have to be, I think, like 2,700 pounds or something.
Yeah, but would it? Because what ratio are they at? 12-1 or 10-1?
Well, no, I'm just saying for like H2. Like, could you imagine a golden era Honda with all of the suspension benefits and none of the McPherson strut negativity on it, and having the newer L15 engine? And I mean, we're capped at horsepower, but
okay.
All right, go.
So there is no swap number for it yet. Okay. But if the swap numbers cross, because if you look at the restricted prep cars with a K20A2 or a Z3 or an A3 or a Z7 or whatever, and you extrapolate, they add 50 pounds. That's all they do.
Yeah.
So his car would be 2850. Yeah, it's not Marcel, it's all of them. Don't pick on Marcel.
Hey man, I want my one class. I want my one class of Honda Challenge.
No, it can't happen. It's impossible. We can't even work out how to put the turbos in. Come on now. So
no, South just answered that question. I mean, you can run H1 and H2. They do an awesome job of it.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think personally we're gonna have to bring back HU or shift everybody H1, H2, H3, and shift everybody down.
Maybe.
And leave you guys where you are. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. It's not my decision. Yeah. All I have is lots of complaints about restricted prep cars. But 2,800 pounds in an L15, and these guys are putting down huge amounts of torque.
Now we have
in their native cars.
Now we have kind of a curved, not an exact example of this with Ronnie Vidoc when he had his K20R and he was running 27 something hundred pounds. So we saw how
he was running Z3 weight.
Yeah. So we saw how dominant that can be. Now imagine giving him over 200 foot-pounds of torque on that car. How much of a monster that would be.
Well, yeah, but there's problems with that.
Oh, of course.
We're going to end up into a Honda Challenge rules argument, but he's limited still to a 235 because he's in a swapped car.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a problem because I'm in the poor man, what they call the poor man's Type R with a Z3 running a 235, and I can't keep tires under it. So
that's true, but remember,
you give him
A-arm versus McPherson, we have to run that static camber. It is a factor because
it is, but we're at a point where you start talking over 200 foot-pounds of torque in a front wheel drive. Where, sure, but it will be nominal because the sheer torque rating would burn the tires down.
Yeah, it could.
Forget the suspension setup; the torque number could do it by itself. So, especially the tires we run, because we're not running the best tire anymore. It used to be pretty good, and the Toyo RR hasn't caught up. So,
yeah, I mean the tire technology that is in the current 200 treadwear wars that's going on right now is kind of ridiculous. I mean, those are producing numbers that are sometimes even close to Hoosier level. Even if it's for small amounts of time, it's still pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, they're not taking the heat, but they can't take the heat because they're treaded like a legitimate tire. If they put two little grooves down like Hoosier or Toyo does, that compound would do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
But since it's treaded like a street tire, those blocks heat up and they don't last, right? So they don't last the duration, but I'm convinced that's why GLTC has 15-minute sprint races and Honda Challenge has 30-minute, 40-minute, 45-minute races, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference. There's an absolute difference.
Absolutely. So, Con, what do you think if you were a college student right now, and you're like, hey, obviously we know that there's two routes to becoming a wheel-to-wheel racer. You either go through your HPD and your race school with a total beater, just wheels, tires, and brakes, and then you buy the race car already done up because that's the smart, sound investment kind of deal. Or, you take the route where somebody makes a horrible decision and decides that they want to build a race car. What car would you recommend, and which path should somebody choose?
Okay, you better start thinking about your answer while I extrapolate and pontificate. Do you? Okay, that's cool. So if I were straight out of college, assuming I was fiscally responsible and I was paying my bills and everything, and I would pay cash for a Honda Fit. And I would drive that every day. I would drive it everywhere. And I would eat ramen. And I would order $5 Domino's pizza, if that still exists, because it did when I was getting out of school. And that's why I'm fat.
Little Caesars hot and ready's, you can still get those for
Little Caesar hot and ready's, whatever it takes. $5 for a pizza. The pizza lasts you like 2 days. That's $2.50 a day for your lunch and your dinner, and you can splurge and buy yourself I don't know, a fancy coffee at Starbucks for breakfast. But I would buy a Honda Fit and I would save like mad because the car I would pick is like a 2016 to 2018 Civic Si.
Cooper sedan.
Oh, coupe all the way.
Yeah.
I love sedans. I love the idea of sedans, but I don't need that much room and I don't need to worry about that much weight. And I'm gonna curveball because the other car I'm looking at is the predecessor to the 86, the BRZ, the Scion FRS or
the
not
twins.
FRS, whatever it was. Right. I would, if you're like, I need a rear wheel drive car, those cars are becoming affordable.
Yeah, those are solid options.
And as long as you check the oiling option on those cars, which you would have to do with any car.
Yeah.
Any modern car with the power platform or the grip that they have, you need to check your oiling options. That would be the one and only mod I would say is baffle your pan somehow, and then we'll worry about brakes later, and you can just burn stock tires down and upgrade them as they burn down. So those are the real two cars, the Civic Si, because they're becoming affordable, sub 20,000. And then the FRS BRZ is in the 16-ish thousand range for a good low mileage, sub 100,000 mile car for a track weapon where you drive your Fit every day. If you live in the city or you live in mass transit route, don't even buy the Honda Fit. Put that $4,000, $5,000 for your Honda Fit in the bank. Tell your mom and dad you can't see them at Christmas because you don't have a car. And take mass transit and then save for your track weapon.
Yeah.
And I think those two are my pick. And I know there's weaknesses with that SI. And maybe we can get into that if you want to. But that's my two track weapons. Because that's what I'm looking at personally now. I'm 40 years old and I'm still looking at it. So if you're 25, you should definitely be looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously the first route, which is just being cheap as possible and getting through your NASA's or whatever accreditation and getting seat time, I would go ahead and pick something that you can literally sleep in. So something like a hatchback, like a Toyota Matrix, the Toyota Corolla,
all the Spec B cars.
Yeah, all of those Spec B cars, the Yaris or whatnot. Although they're kind of pricier. I think the Fiestas, they're under that price range.
The Mazda 2, the Mazda 2 and the Fiesta are the same car. They're the cheapest. They're the least economical as far as like, oh, I want to get miles per gallon. I mean, it doesn't matter on track, but when you go home, those are cars I look for today. The Yaris, the Fit, and the Mazda 2 Fiesta.
Yeah, and
because I have a commute.
That's something that you can use, and if you really needed to, let's say you spin a rod bearing, you just go to the junkyard and learn how to swap it. And again, if you're going to be broke, you have to be mechanically inclined. Like you can't, but
there are parts for them.
I mean, realistically, if you're just going to be doing HPD, all you need is brakes, tires, wheels. That's about it. I'm not even going to say to get coilovers for the car, just because.
I'm not saying that either, but if you're like driving around, say you go from HPD 1 to HPD 2, and you're like, man, this car won't rotate. Literally, the Mazda 2, the Yaris, and the Fit, they all have rear sway bar options or torque bar options.
That's right. That's right.
They are.
Yeah, they all have.
You could mod them. you could make them little track weapons.
Yeah.
Miniature track weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I mean, there's also the option of going staggered tires, because obviously, because of the Hondas out there, you can buy 15 by 8s and put a wider, stickier tire in the front and have it, rotate. And again, you're trying to build up through there. So going through the route of getting, just the cheapest track weapon to get you through the school and then jump up there, that's what I would recommend. However, if and then when it's time to buy a car, you buy a race car done up. So that's path A. Cheap car, don't even put coilovers on it, and then buy the race car down. Now, if you're gonna buy a car now, I think buying a '06 to '11 Ace Gen, like Victor Adamson did, chassis. The chassis is great. I think it handles pretty well for what it is, and just start saving up to buy the L15 transmissions and L15 blocks. I mean, $400, you could save that up, buy that block, have that ready, and just start waiting to get in there, and then eventually petition for rules change and have the H2 Honda Challenge car with an L15 in there. And yeah, if you're gonna go the horrible route of building your own race car, that I think is a future, not a future proof, but a good future gamble, if you will.
So for folks, Jaime is not wrong in that building your own race car is financially a poor decision.
Mm-hmm.
But as someone who bought a race car, mostly bought a race car, I'd put a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah.
And built his own. Building your own will ensure less problems.
Well, you
have
know
a podcast.
You'll know the problems.
Yeah, you'll know it. Yeah. You created it, right? You created the problem when you were like, well, I don't have enough money to actually buy the right whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I did it this way. But you have a podcast already. Is it the 3 best cars under 5,000 or 5 best cars under 3,000? I can't remember.
3 under 5, I think, is the title of that one.
Yeah. So if you're a broke college kid who's like, I'm going to go HPDE, you need to go, Mom and Dad, this is what I want for my graduation present. Because it's cheaper than a Rolex. It's cheaper than probably what they were going to buy you. But it'll point you in the right direction.
And, for your parents' sake, you could point out that all of those cars that I mentioned out there, hatchbacks, so they're incredibly good for transporting stuff like IKEA furniture to your new dorm, and they're usually very economical on gas. And most parental figures, if you tell them, hey, I want to get a used Matrix or I want to get a used Yaris, they're like, oh, that's probably what we're going to get you anyways.
Yeah, right.
So, and
welcome to corporate world. Here's your Matrix.
Yes.
Or your Yaris.
Yeah, and it's, when you're out on track, if you don't have baffling for it, just do the half a quart over full trick. Yes, you do.
Just do a whole quart. Send it all.
I don't know about all that. You will have
You'll burn it off anyway. It's fine.
You'll have more issues of like possibly foaming and all of these other things, but your rod bearings will be intact. You will lose a little bit of power, but again, you're 90 horsepower, you're maybe 100 horsepower. Yeah, it's little to look on.
Those are the best cars to learn on.
Exactly.
The best cars to learn on, yeah.
Yeah, and you're not putting money into coilovers or anything else like that, just wheels, tires, and that's it. You could even just buy a set of tires off of Facebook Marketplace and have those as your track ones and have your regular daily tires. And that way you can have your quote unquote fast tires or your track tires just be for that situation only. And you're good. It'll last you a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're a grown up, like Jaime and I are grown ups, and we still play with little cars, or we pretend to be we're
Uh-huh.
legally grown-ups in the government eyes,
Yeah.
but I'm sure your fiance and my wife are like these children.
Yes.
Jaime, what is the ultimate street track weapon? You're a grown up, you have a good salary. What are you buying yourself?
I had this conversation with my buddy Eli, and we were going back and forth because, like him, I am a very cost-effective person, and I want the best bang for the buck. Now, if I wanted a car that I'm not going to be spending that ridiculous dealer markup, because I love the Type
Right.
R, but you're having to spend over that. And you know me, I have Facebook Marketplace everything. I'm not going to be I'm not paying MSRP for anything. So
Yeah. I'm not talking brand new sticker car, because I think that market's all jacked up.
Yeah, exactly. So I was actually thinking of, in terms of like daily, so you could have a lot of room into it. And this might trigger some non-JDM fans, but
you don't have kids. You don't need room. It's you and your fiance.
No, I mean, I like the room idea because I could put spare wheels in there and spare parts.
Okay.
On that, and in that scenario. So for that one, I would actually look at the Veloster and Performance, because I think bang for the buck, they aren't over. They didn't sell a lot of them because they're Hyundais, and the performance that they do is actually pretty good. But if it's me, it's got to be a 2016 to I forget what the last year, 2020, the 10th gen Civic Si coupe. It's just like, it's done. You have all the torque, you have all of these things, and if you're in California, they have a carb legal Flash Pro, so you can literally do a little bit of performance onto it and be okay with not having to pay for a special.
They have a legal Flash Pro for the 10th gen?
I believe so.
Oof.
They have a legal one for the 8th gen.
So, yeah. I'm 43 years old, and so I'm old.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, it's sad. When I bought this race car, before it was a race car, I drove it for 15 minutes, and I was like, man, I really need a street car, one of these. I would totally skip the 9th gen Civic, an 8th gen sedan.
Mm-hmm.
I can put track taxi on the license plate. It's available in my state. I could just hook it up and go. I also really like the 10th gen Civic.
Mm-hmm.
For people who don't know, they have a little weakness in the front strut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Jaime's talked about it. He covered it in your Nationals recap, and I think you've covered it a couple other times. You've talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, being fair to Honda and being fair to the manufacturer of those shocks, I have not confirmed that. This is just kind of hearsay, but it's something that I've even mentioned to Chris Sheffield, and I think we've talked about it a little bit. I don't know if he's been able to see it in person, so that's kind of like a hard thing to really nail down. But as we've seen at Nationals, there is a tendency for those to suffer a major malfunction.
Yeah, but it wasn't just Nationals. Mm-hmm. It happened in IMSA. The TCA, TCR cars had them also. Now, something changed because they had them, I think, in their first year, and then they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know whether they changed what the driver was doing or the spec, but there's a weakness in that front strut where it breaks, and then it causes a catastrophic failure.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, as a street weapon that let's not put Hoosiers on it.
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody that did, and it's all stock with Hoosiers, and I was like, oof. I love Elvin to death, but no, he shouldn't have done that. But I think he was stealing his brother Edgar's Hoosiers and putting them on.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's that 8th gen, 10th gen Civic, and I always come back to the 86, that GR86. That's the brand new version.
Yeah.
But that FRS, I don't care about the engine. I don't need power. Honestly, I don't. I mean, I say that as I'm a K series car in H2, which everybody says I'm cheating because I have 400 horsepower magically, you know.
Yeah, and you are,
but
still.
Yeah, whatever. I don't cheat, I innovate.
There you go.
I believe that's the rules or the way they word it on the Dale Jr. podcast. But
yeah, that sounds like Alan Cole stuff right there.
Yeah, man, it's East Coast. I don't live that far away from North Carolina. I'm an innovator, not a cheater. Leave me alone.
Remember, it's only illegal if you get caught.
Right. And apparently, I'm going to my first race in 2023 as the only car, so there's nobody going to do compliance on me. Michael Young, my series director, said he would just disqualify me from Fredericksburg because he knows I'm cheating anyway. So, I was like, hey, you get to work from home. That's awesome. But
DQ from home.
Yeah. So the JDM boys will hate me, but I think a track weapon, street car, not practical. Don't tell your mom. Mustang GT. The 3rd gen and above Coyote motor, good to go. And if it's not, I know people that can help you. And the newer Boxster Caymans, that combo. If you've got too much tax return money coming in,
the spec Boxsters. I think those. I see. Yeah.
Spec Boxster, but you can still find a used Cayman for a decent deal.
Yeah.
They're the price of a new Mustang, but you're talking Porsche. So it's street cred, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that street cred is going to be very helpful when you're paying for like $2,000 brake jobs, but you know, it's still pretty awesome, you know. And the Mustangs,
absolutely.
I mean,
I didn't.
Big tires, really.
Jaime, you're practical.
No, I'm cheap. I'm very cost effective.
No. You have a budget, and I have a budget, and my number on my budget and your number on your budget aren't the same. We still budget.
Yeah,
it's just different.
Yeah, I mean, I am still gunning for right now the cheapest Honda Challenge Racer out there. I know in my region, I would win because I'm the only U-Haul user here, and everyone else has toter homes. So, you know, I'm still vying for that. There might be some changes coming up in the future that I might be able to take the title away from somebody, but I don't know.
You've already taken it away from Dylan because Dylan spent bank on Rust-Oleum alone to rattle can his car.
Oh, man.
The amount of money he spent on 2K clear coat, he could have gone to Mako. He could have done the repair himself and then shipped it to Mako, and they would have painted it for him.
Is Mako still a thing with you guys?
Oh yeah. Well, my buddy Jake, I even got my old car painted. I got a Mako up the road.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 20 miles up the road.
What did they charge $400 to shoot it?
Yeah, the whole thing. Bring it naked. Pull the windows, pull everything.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Bring it on the crappiest wheels. Yeah,
no.
Bring it on the crappiest wheels.
Pull the headlights and taillights so they can get it underneath. Because honestly, that's the biggest prep is the biggest detail thing that can be out there for him. And just to shoot the thing, that's pretty dope.
I brought it to them, no windows, no taillights, no headlights, and the bumpers off the car.
Perfect.
They shot the whole car. Shot my bumpers, everything. Now, I had them take ripples out of the side. I did a lot of work to the car. Like a lot of work. Like more work than the car was worth, right?
Yeah.
Still $1,200. $1,200. They took out wrinkles. They did, magic. The guy was like, I don't know if we can take this out, but we'll try. He goes, how many hours do you think I should spend on this? And I was like, hour and a half. If it doesn't come out in an hour and a half, just leave it. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Hour and a half, it looked pristine.
Dope.
And then I raced it, and then it stopped looking pristine, but whatever.
Yeah, no, for me, since like, I don't know if you knew this, but when I started out, in high school, I worked at my dad's shop, and we would do wet sanding and polishing for a lot of used car dealerships. So when I see fisheyes and freaking what is it, like orange peel, I'm just like, okay, good, they shot enough clear coat, I can cut this with some 1000 and 2000 to make it easy on the little polisher that I have. So that doesn't scare me, especially for the size cars that we have. Like, I'll wet sand and buff a car. Like, that doesn't scare me.
Yeah, I mean, our cars aren't that big. My cars, the 8th gens, are a little bigger.
Yeah,
they're big enough where we don't get a draft.
Yeah, they're full size to me. I mean, it's not Carlos getting the draft off of a DA at Laguna. Nice, but dude, that video is still sick. To see him creep up on Keith like that was pretty dope.
Yeah,
and on an uphill with a B series, that's draft.
It has to be, and he's got the little CRX to prove it. Like,
yeah, the single jingle don't make no torque.
No, none. No.
Oh man.
So your car, you said, is the 8th gen?
For me, yeah, it would be
or the 10th gen.
8th gen, non-SI, if you're gonna build it.
Okay.
If I wanted to go for like a street track car for myself, and I was being fancy boy with it, it would be a 10th gen SI. Yeah.
All right.
Track.
You're so cheap, Jaime.
No, it's the thing is that I want to put the money into track days. So for me, I want to put as much money as I can into going to track days, because we both know that at the end of the day, the guy or gal, the person who's gone out there and had the most seat time is going to find the most problems and find the most solutions. And that's the person who's going to be able to be more consistent than the person who has the better built car.
Yes. No. I can absolutely agree with that. But at the same time, if there's disparity in their experience level, if you're a Jonathan Baker, Christopher Michaels with more seat time in your car, and I prepare my car more than they did, I might get close to them.
Yeah.
Seat time, but essentially seat time is king over preparation, but there's a level of preparation you can go to.
Yeah, where
maybe not in amateur racing.
Yeah, where the deltas aren't.
Yeah, you can overcome a lot with preparation. You can buy seconds. You can buy that. What happens is when you get to a certain level, when you get to a certain point, say when you're chasing that last second, so you're 1 second off the front runners, that's when your seat time shows.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, and I'm guilty of it, I'm a second or two off, right? Of my group. What I still consider the fastest Honda Challenge group in the nation. Because we're back-to-back champs, and until we lose it this year, possibly, we won't be proven wrong. We can't be proven wrong. I'm 1 to 2 seconds off, right? That's on me. My car is prepped. My data shows my car is there. So, but I don't have the seat time in my car. I have 4 weekends in my car.
Yeah.
I have 4 race weekends in my car. And when I think about it, when I legitimately think about it, and when I go to write a rules request, I go, I can't actually write this because my data says XYZ.
And Marcel's
my data says XYZ. Yeah. Marcel's not going to do it because he loves he forgets about restricted prep cars.
Well,
They
because
only
there's
worry
so
about
fair,
those
there's
limited
so
prep cars.
few of them. I mean, and to be devil's advocate,
Well, they're all in the Mid-Atlantic region.
yeah, and to be
Okay.
devil's
Scott
advocate,
Adams has his in
yeah,
Texas.
yeah. And I mean, to be devil's advocate, they're few and far between, and to put that kind of emphasis on that versus trying to help the GSR to be a little bit more competitive, there's, a little bit more of what's your return on document changes, I guess. And like he said,
So
he still has to submit those approvals to nationals, and then they decide what the updates are.
So my biggest issue is you can bless the limited prep K cars, ignore the restricted prep K cars, then go, oh, we need to equalize the B series limited prep cars, still ignore the restricted prep cars.
Yeah.
There was a dichotomy there where it wasn't K versus B. It turned out 2 years in a row, in my opinion, limited prep versus restricted prep.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. It's a growing pain, right? This is a challenge that every race organization goes through. You talk to Adam Jabay about GLTC stuff or D series transmission stuff. They go through it too. They're classifying every car. They're trying to balance every car, every combo.
Way harder for them.
It's way harder for them. Okay, I say it's way harder for them. In the grand scheme of things, it's actually the same. Because we have multi-chassis. We have rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, McPherson strut, double A arm.
Yeah,
we don't have V8s, but we have V6. Yeah,
the S2000s that Baker loves in H2.
Yeah, right. So they're trying to balance all of this. Now, the benefit for GLTC is that they're a single series car.
That's
right?
true.
So they just go, can we dial this in to make everything equal on one playing field?
Exactly.
In Honda Challenge, we have H1, H2, H4.
Yeah.
We have 3 playing fields. So there's each one of those is a microcosm.
Exactly.
That they deal with. So I actually think it's worse. And I hate defending Marcel because he's just going to keep ignoring me, but
that's okay. He'll listen to this because it's on the Air podcast.
Oh, he listens. Don't worry, he listens. He just ignores you, and then I go, "Did you hear that podcast?" And then I bug the crap out of him, and then he has to pay attention to me.
So. Oh, that's where I get a little bit of a spike during the week after Con's been giving him. I'm like, it's odd.
Don't look at your data, Jaime. I do data for a living, and I don't understand podcast data at all. So
I just keep talking into the mechanical box, and then hopefully some people clap. There we go.
I'll clap for you, man.
There we go.
Don't worry. You're doing a great job over there at RaceFF. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I know this podcast isn't everyone's cup of tea. I'm probably still the first person to listen to your podcast because my commute starts at 3:30 in the morning. So tomorrow morning, because we're recording on a Sunday, and it's almost 9 o'clock, so my bedtime's coming soon, but I will be downloading as I get ready for work, and then I'll be listening on my drive to the train. I'll finish up my listen on the train probably, and then I'll start listening to other people. And that's how I do things,
Yeah.
I can't tell you when people listen to my podcast because they listen when they work on their car. That's my only theory.
Yeah, there's a lot of that happens where people have it on as background noise. I know that I do that a lot with my podcast. And you know what? Actually, this is kind of an interesting thing. It's a little bit of a left field thing, but what kind of genre of podcast, if you don't want to give specific shout outs, do you like to listen to?
Well, I'm a race car addict. So I listen to as many automotive podcasts as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, Dale Jr. has a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 6 GLTC podcasts, Slip
Mm-hmm.
Angle, all those guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Professional Awesome. I listen to them, even though sometimes they don't do anything about aerodynamics, which really bugs me out. But I need rudimentary aerodynamics knowledge, and so I go there. But I listen to 2 out of genre podcasts.
Okay.
And so if people are down, Popular Front, it's a left leaning, and most people would say I'm not left leaning, but it's a left leaning war and conflict podcast. But they don't do mainstream ones. They do conflicts that the regular news organizations wouldn't cover.
Okay.
And then I listened to one, and why is the name slipping? It's a crime podcast. So,
okay.
So I listened to that, and a lot of it has to do with I needed more. I listened to them before my commute got really bad, but I needed more content because
long form.
It was just, I needed more long form content when you're commuting. I commute 12 hours a week.
You burn through a lot of content.
Yeah. So that crime podcast is called the Underworld Podcast, if anybody gets bored.
I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah. So I listen to that one, and I listen to Popular Front. And outside of that, it's all motorsports related. When I started racing Jaime, I couldn't get enough. I couldn't talk to enough people. I couldn't talk to my wife about stuff enough. She was like, seriously, I don't know what are you talking about? It's like, okay, I need to talk to Marcus or Darren or somebody, right? And so more and more and more. And then I was listening to your podcast, and you would start doing questions to people, and I'm like, oh my God, I got another question, right? And so it just snowballed into starting this, because I don't ask all the right questions. I promise. It's confessions, right?
Yeah.
And you can listen to your podcast and be like, oh man, I should have asked this question. Yeah, we're all learning every time.
Yeah,
right?
I go back to like the Ryan Eversley episode, and I'm just like, damn, I could have done so much better.
Yeah, Flex, hard Flex, Race FF has a Eversley podcast.
Yeah,
I don't have one of those.
And until this day, I will never not promote that man for coming onto my podcast at the beginning, where I had regional racers that wouldn't want to talk about their racing, and that man came through, and I can't say enough nice things about Ryan Eversley, because he's just the GOAT, and that's it. Like, fight me.
No, he's absolutely a hero. He's one of the grassroots club racer guys who really made the jump, and he worked hard to do it.
Yeah, as a mechanic, he started out. I mean, much love and respect to him.
Yeah. So he was spinning wrenches, driving in his spare time, and he made the jump. And maybe you could have him back on. I implore you to have him back on, because I think it would be a great episode.
I would like
if he would come on, because he's super famous now. But
I mean, he was
famous when you talked to him. But
I mean,
now
he's
he's
really
infamous.
only 2 years ago. So, and actually, interesting thing. I didn't even really notice it, but this is my 3rd year doing the RaceFF podcast.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, I know, it's scary.
I'm on week like 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And you have 100. You're over 100.
Yeah, I'm like worried I'm going to run out of things to talk about every week. I'm like, I don't know.
Never call me. We'll just talk.
Cool.
We're fine.
But yeah, so
well, folks.
So
go ahead
to finish off. So the podcast that I listen to outside of motorsports genre. So I listened to. There's two that I think you would actually really enjoy.
Okay.
One is Time Suck with the comedian Dan Cummins. He does kind of like a linear progression of just random scenarios, sometimes serial killers from like Russia that no one's really covered of. And just like a kind of like a little bit of a comedic take on historical events, Genghis Khan, just like a very like wide variety of topics. He has a very nuanced perspective on things, and I do appreciate that. Then of course I love like paranormal, the like my inner skeptic slash conspiracy theorist person comes out from my exposure to the X-Files when I was younger. So like stuff like Uncanny is a good one, and Hardcore History is a really good one. That one, dude, if you want to talk about something that you can burn on a commute, those are like 5-hour long podcasts.
Oh wow.
And
okay,
dude, if you want to listen to something where you're going to be entertained and feel like you learned a lot, dude, Hardcore History is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I highly recommend.
I might have to check them out.
Yeah.
Because by the time my last day on the train and commuting and driving, I pretty much run out of stuff. So
yeah. Check out the Celtic genocide. That one I think is I think that's the title of it. It's like 4 or 5 hours long. Dude, it's like the history class that we wish we would have gotten. It was so entertaining.
Okay.
So like really does put into context a lot of just different stories and different research that historians have put together, and talks about like interesting narratives and ideas of what happened in these timelines. But yeah, that one's awesome. A lot of spooky stuff that I listen to. So like Uncanny, Scared to Death podcast, stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's a wrap, bud.
Yeah. I was trying to.
I really appreciate you coming on. Be yourself. You are yourself, man.
No, in terms of time.
Oh, you know, you and I both do long form, rarely edited content, and I think that's the right way to go as far as I'm concerned, because it's less work for me.
Exactly.
And it's more raw and more real for people. You got to relate. And so I'm happy you could come on. You're always welcome on. If you got another topic you want to cover, you want to talk about, let's do it.
Down.
I'll happily jump on yours, you know, if you need
anytime
need somebody to talk. So yeah, man, I think that's a wrap, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me on. And if you enjoyed this little bit of rambling, come and check me out at the RaceFF podcast.
Like I do every Monday.
As Khan has so graciously pointed out, I do have a flex of having Ryan Eversley on there, but also had people like Jabe, Tom O'Gorman, Khan as well. Yep. Can't forget that.
Yeah, world famous me. Yeah. You have Tomo, Jabe, Eversley,
Khan.
You have bunch of number one stunners going on your podcast. So you should check it out. I really appreciate you coming on, brother. Thanks
Anytime,
again.
Man. Anytime.
Until next time, keep working on yourself, keep working on the car, and let's get faster.